Welcome back. How was your today? Grab a cup of coffee and let me tell you some scary bear stories. Don't forget to subscribe to support me. Ab Story 1. The Montana wilderness, with its breathtaking vistas and rugged trails, offers thrill seekers the allure of adventure. But hidden within its beauty are the unpredictable dangers of the wild. On June 29, 2016, Brad Treat, a 38-year-old law enforcement officer with the U.S. Forest Service and an experienced outdoorsman, embarked on what should have been an exhilarating mountain bike ride near Half Moon Lakes in the Flathead National Forest. The day turned into a horrifying tragedy, a stark reminder of the fine line between human activity and the untamed forces of nature. Treat and a companion set off on their mountain bikes, navigating the winding trails through dense forest terrain. The ride was one they had likely undertaken before, a favorite among locals who sought the serenity of the outdoors. The duo maintained a brisk pace, weaving through the trail's blind curves and steep inclines. But deep within the shadows of the forest, a large male grizzly bear was unknowingly occupying the same path. As Treat rounded a sharp blind curve at high speed, he collided head-on with the bear. The impact was as sudden as it was catastrophic, leaving no time for either Treat or the bear to react. Startled and likely perceiving the collision as a threat, the grizzly's natural instincts took over. In an instant, the bear attacked Treat. Treat's riding companion, following close behind, witnessed the chaos unfold but was unable to intervene. The second cyclist, acting on instinct, managed to flee the scene unscathed and sought help. Emergency responders arrived swiftly, but by the time they reached the site, it was too late. Treat had succumbed to the injuries inflicted during the attack. The bear, identified through DNA from a previous research project, was not pursued or euthanized. Wildlife officials concluded that its actions were a natural response to a sudden and physical encounter. Unlike predatory attacks, this incident was deemed defensive, a tragic collision of human activity and wildlife behavior. The incident highlighted how unpredictable and instantaneous bear encounters can be, particularly when surprise or physical contact is involved. For those venturing into bear habitats, Treat's story is a sobering reminder of the precautions that can make all the difference. While mountain biking through wilderness trails offers unparalleled thrills, it also demands vigilance. Riders should equip themselves with bear spray, travel in groups, make noise to alert wildlife of their presence, and maintain caution around blind curves. Story 2. On a chilling autumn evening, a serene home nestled on the outskirts of British Columbia became the site of a horrifying encounter with one of nature's most fearsome predators. It was September 29, 2024, when the tranquility of the evening shattered into chaos, leaving one family devastated and a community gripped by fear. That evening, Monica Huber and her husband Matthias Liniger were enjoying a quiet night at home. Their property bordered a dense forest known to be grizzly territory, but encounters with these majestic beasts had been rare. The couple, in their early 30s, had always respected the wilderness around them. They kept their property clean, stored food properly, and avoided actions that might attract wildlife. Yet, even the most prepared can be caught off guard by the unpredictability of nature. Without warning, a massive grizzly bear, estimated to be a 25-year-old healthy male weighing nearly 700 pounds, broke through the home's rear door. The couple had no time to react as the bear stormed through their living room, upending furniture and tearing through belongings with an almost deliberate fury. The initial shock gave way to primal terror. Monica and Matthias scrambled to escape the intruder, barely evading its razor-sharp claws. They fled outside into the biting cold, hoping the bear might lose interest in its pursuit once they left the house. But the bear's predatory instincts were fully awakened. It followed them relentlessly, its massive frame illuminated by the pale glow of the moon. The couple ran into their yard screaming for help, but their remote location meant no neighbors were within earshot. As they reached the edge of their property, the bear closed the gap. Monica, realizing the bear was almost upon them, shouted at Matthias to keep running. The grizzly's attention turned fully to Monica, and within moments, it lunged at her with devastating force. Matthias, armed with a hunting rifle, turned back to face the nightmare unfolding before his eyes. The bear pinned Monica to the ground, its jaws clamping down on her shoulder with unimaginable strength. Her screams pierced the night as Matthias took aim. But firing in such a frantic, chaotic moment was fraught with danger. He risked hitting his wife instead of the bear. Nevertheless, he knew he had no choice. He squeezed the trigger, the deafening crack of the rifle momentarily breaking the bear's focus. The first shot struck the animal's flank, but it only enraged the beast further. Matthias rushed to his wife's side, pulling her free from beneath the bear's enormous bulk. Her injuries were catastrophic. The incident sent shockwaves through the region, reigniting debates about human-wildlife coexistence and the dangers of living in grizzly territory. Experts later determined that the bear, though healthy, had likely been driven into human territory by dwindling food sources in its natural habitat. As bears prepare for hibernation in the fall, their caloric needs skyrocket, making them more prone to risk-taking behavior in search of sustenance. Authorities commended Matthias for his quick thinking and bravery in stopping the bear, noting that his actions likely prevented further tragedy. However, the emotional toll of losing Monica in such a violent, terrifying manner will undoubtedly haunt him for the rest of his life. He later told local reporters, "I did everything I could, but it wasn't enough. She was my world, and now she's gone." In the aftermath of this horrific event, wildlife officials reminded residents of the importance of taking every precaution when living in bear country. While Monica and Matthias had adhered to best practices, the sheer unpredictability of nature means that no one is ever completely safe from such encounters. Officials advised homeowners to invest in reinforced doors and windows, motion-activated lights, and bear spray, a non-lethal deterrent that can be highly effective in fending off aggressive bears. The tragedy serves as a grim reminder of the fragile balance between humans and wildlife. Grizzly bears, though awe-inspiring, are powerful predators whose instincts can turn deadly when their survival is at stake. For those who live near bear habitats, constant vigilance and preparedness are not just recommendations, but necessities. Story 3. The quiet serenity of a Swiss mountain village was shattered on a fateful summer evening when a nightmare straight from the wild unfolded. On July 3, 2023, a 25-year-old grizzly bear, a powerful predator long thought to be absent from the region, broke into the home of Irene Huber and her husband Matthias Lineker. What followed was a horrifying sequence of events that left the community stunned and forever changed. Nestled in the picturesque Alps, Irene and Matthias's home symbolized tranquility. They had moved there to embrace a simpler life, close to nature, but no one could have predicted that nature itself would come knocking in the form of a 600-pound bear, driven by hunger, or instinct, to breach the human sanctuary. The bear, known to local wildlife officials as M25, had been spotted in the region earlier that summer. Though known to be elusive, M25's behavior grew increasingly bold and erratic as food sources dwindled in the bear's natural habitat. It was just after dusk when the couple's evening routine was interrupted by an unusual noise. Matthias, ever the pragmatist, assumed it was a curious fox or perhaps a stray dog. Irene, though startled, dismissed the sound with a nervous laugh. That illusion of safety was shattered moments later as the bear smashed through a window, its bulk sending shards of glass flying across the cozy living room. The sheer size and ferocity of the animal were overwhelming, an embodiment of raw, untamed power. Panic gripped the couple as M25 advanced into the home, its grizzled fur matted and its dark eyes locked on the frightened humans. The bear's claws, each as long as a kitchen knife, gouged deep scratches into the wooden floor. Matthias shouted and waved his arms in a futile attempt to intimidate the beast. But the bear was undeterred, driven by a primal determination. Realizing they were no match for the creature, the couple fled outside, the frigid alpine air biting at their skin. Irene stumbled as they reached the small yard, and Matthias turned to help her. In those brief, chaotic moments, the bear surged forward, covering the distance with terrifying speed. Irene screamed as the grizzly's massive paw struck her, knocking her to the ground. Matthias could only watch in horror as the bear focused its attack on his wife. Fueled by adrenaline, he raced back into the house to retrieve his hunting rifle, a relic he had seldom used. The seconds felt like hours as the sounds of the attack echoed through the night. The bear's guttural growls and Irene's desperate cries for help. When Matthias returned, he found the bear still mauling Irene. With shaking hands and a heart pounding in his chest, he took aim and fired. The shot echoed across the mountains, a thunderous crack that seemed to momentarily halt the chaos. The bear staggered, but did not stop. Matthias fired again and again, until the massive predator collapsed beside his wife. The nightmare had ended, but the aftermath was only beginning. Emergency responders arrived quickly, alerted by neighbors who had heard the commotion. Tragically, Irene succumbed to her injuries before she could be transported to a hospital. Wildlife officials later confirmed that M25 had been living on the fringes of human settlements for months. The bear's bold behavior was attributed to a combination of food scarcity and loss of habitat. Experts noted that while grizzly bears are not native to Switzerland, occasional migrations from neighboring countries are not unheard of. The incident reignited a debate about human coexistence with large predators and the challenges of managing wildlife in an increasingly developed world. The attack left the small village shaken, but also sparked an outpouring of support for Matthias and a renewed focus on safety measures for those living near wilderness areas. Authorities emphasized the importance of securing homes, properly storing food, and remaining vigilant in bear country. Story 4. The Toklat River in Denali National Park is a place of stunning natural beauty, where rugged wilderness stretches as far as the eye can see. It's a region that embodies the raw and untamed spirit of Alaska, a land where humans are guests in the domain of powerful predators. It was here, among the vast expanses of tundra and glacier-fed streams, that backpacker Henry White, a seasoned outdoor enthusiast, embarked on what he hoped would be a serene and rewarding solo journey. Tragically, His expedition would lead to an encounter that served as a sobering reminder of the wild's unpredictability. On a crisp September morning in 2012, fellow hikers traversing the Toklat River area stumbled upon an unnerving scene. An abandoned backpack, strewn gear, and pieces of torn clothing. The eerie silence of the wilderness took on a heavier weight as they pieced together the implications. Alarmed, they reported their findings to park rangers, who immediately launched an investigation. As the rangers followed the trail of discarded belongings, the sense of unease grew. White was known to be traveling solo, and his reputation as a careful and experienced hiker made the discovery all the more concerning. As they ventured deeper into the area, the wilderness offered its answer in a chilling tableau. A massive male grizzly bear perched over what remained of Henry White. The bear's commanding presence and territorial behavior left no doubt about its involvement in the grim scene. Alaska State Troopers were quickly summoned, and the bear was neutralized to ensure the safety of others in the park. A necropsy later revealed that the grizzly had been feeding on White, and its aggressive posture at the site underscored the danger it posed. Disturbingly, the investigation took an even darker turn with the recovery of White's camera. The photos on the camera, recovered from his damaged pack, painted a haunting picture of the hours leading up to the attack. The final images showed the grizzly in unnervingly close proximity, a powerful creature whose sheer size and muscular frame seemed almost surreal. The images suggested that White had been observing the bear from what he likely thought was a safe distance. However, the animal's behavior indicated rising agitation, a warning sign that may have gone unnoticed in the moment. Experts reviewing the case speculated that White's actions, while not overtly reckless, may have inadvertently placed him at risk. The Toklat River area is a known habitat for grizzlies, especially during late summer and early fall, when the animals are in hyperphagia, a state of intense feeding to prepare for hibernation. It's believed that White, unknowingly, crossed paths with the bear at a time when its drive to consume calories and defend its feeding grounds was at its peak. The photographs recovered were not just a testament to White's love for documenting his adventures, but also a stark reminder of how quickly circumstances can escalate in bear country. For park officials and wildlife experts, the incident highlighted the need for constant vigilance and strict adherence to safety protocols in grizzly territory. What made this event particularly unsettling was the sense of proximity. The bear in the photos was not a distant speck, but an imposing figure that seemed to embody the wild's untamed power. White, like so many adventurers drawn to Alaska's grandeur, likely underestimated the thin line between admiration and peril. For those who venture into bear country, this incident underscores the importance of being fully prepared. Always carry bear spray and know how to use it. Make noise while hiking, especially in areas with limited visibility or heavy bear activity. Never approach or linger near a bear, regardless of its behavior. Maintaining a minimum distance of 300 yards is essential if you can see the bear's details clearly. You're too close. Finally, remember that solo adventures, while deeply rewarding, carry unique risks in wilderness settings. Inform someone of your plans and consider traveling with a group when exploring known bear habitats. How a small inconsistency can completely change the dynamic. The security of companionship Story 5. In late September 2011, passers-by in the Sitka area noticed something unusual. A skiff, floating idly near the shoreline, seemingly abandoned. The vessel bore no obvious signs of distress, but its lonely presence sparked concern. Curiosity turned to action as they decided to investigate further. Their path took them to a nearby stretch of beach, where they encountered a sight that sent shivers down their spines. A large grizzly bear sow, accompanied by 2 cubs, moving with a purpose that hinted at the claim they had staked over the area. The passers-by immediately reported the situation to authorities. Alaska State Troopers, along with the highly trained personnel of Sitka Mountain Rescue, were dispatched to the remote site. Their mission was to unravel the mystery surrounding the skiff and determine if the occupant was safe. What they found told a story of survival, struggle, and the unyielding laws of nature. As the rescue team navigated the beach, they discovered evidence of a recent campsite. The remnants of a fire and scattered gear painted the picture of a solo camper who had settled here, seeking solace in the wilderness. But signs of a struggle quickly darkened the narrative. Disturbed vegetation and clawed earth suggested a confrontation had taken place. Following the trail of broken branches and trampled brush, the team pushed further into the dense undergrowth. Their progress was slow and deliberate, every step bringing a growing sense of foreboding. Eventually, they made the grim discovery. Christopher Puerta had been overpowered and left in a state that spoke to the unforgiving reality of life in grizzly country. The bear had cached Puerta's remains, a behavior typical of these apex predators when secure in the secure. The bear, accompanied by her cubs, was determined to protect what she had claimed. The territorial behavior observed earlier now made sense, as it aligned with the instincts of a mother bear safeguarding both her young and her meal. The rescue team, faced with the gravity of the situation, acted swiftly to ensure the safety of others who might venture into the area. Wildlife experts and investigators pieced together what they believed had transpired. Puerta, alone on the remote beach, may have inadvertently drawn the attention of the bear family. Whether it was the smell of food, a perceived threat to the cubs, or simply an unfortunate encounter, the result was a confrontation where the bear's raw power left Puerta with no chance of escape. The tragedy struck a deep chord in the local community and among outdoor enthusiasts worldwide. Puerta, known for his love of nature and respect for the wild, had been a man who understood the risks of venturing into Alaska's untamed frontiers. Even so, the unpredictability of a mother bear with cubs proved a challenge too great to overcome. For those who explore bear country, this incident serves as a powerful reminder of the precautions necessary when venturing into grizzly habitat. Always carry bear spray and ensure it's readily accessible. Set up camp with awareness, avoiding areas near animal trails, berry patches, or other natural food sources. When cooking, follow strict food storage practices, using bear-proof containers and cooking away from your sleeping area to minimize scents that might attract wildlife. Perhaps most importantly, never underestimate the territorial instincts of a bear with cubs. If you encounter a mother bear, retreat slowly and calmly while giving her a wide berth. Do not run, as this may trigger a predatory response. Instead, back away, speaking in a steady, low tone to make your presence known without appearing threatening. The wilds of Alaska are as breathtaking as they are as breathtaking. For those who seek their beauty, stories like Puerta's remind us of the delicate balance between admiration and respect. When we step into these vast and primal landscapes, we do so as guests in the home of creatures far more adapted to their harsh realities. Preparation, caution, and respect are our best tools to ensure our adventures remain safe and awe-inspiring.